Woohoo!
Woo,
And we're
woo, woo.
live. Yes, that's such a peppy song. It's such a peppy song. So we're live, really live in the flesh today. No recording. It's us in all of our wonderment. We've got black and yellow going on here, some great colors. And I have a fabulous guest, and I'm so honored she's here today. Met her for the first time. So exciting. So, Alison, before we get stuck in with our topic today, thank you for being here. And could you just, in case somebody doesn't know you, can you just very quickly say who you are and what you do? And then we'll start chatting about our topic.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Gillian. Again, it's lovely when we get to meet each other face to face like this. That makes the world so small. So
Mm.
I am Alison Edgar MBE. I'm the author of the books Smash It, The Art of Getting What You Want. Secrets of Successful Sales is my other book. I also run a training company where I train around entrepreneurship, sales and leadership. And I'm a keynote speaker. So my clients include the Discovery Channel, Sky, European Commission, and quite a lot of big corporate organizations. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so our topic today is it's never too late to smash your goals. And this is something that kind of comes up for stuff, like for people, this is like baggage we walk around that like, oh, if we were going to be a success, we do it by time we're 25. And it's like, I'm a baby boomer. So it's like, I don't feel it's ever too late to smash my goals. And your goals could be your business, getting that dream job. It could be, having the retirement that you've always desired. Your goals can be anything. And Alison, I read your book. I loved your book. I thought it was really good. And I was saying this to you before we started today, that your book took a unique approach in that it talked about not just how it's about me, but it's about the people that I work with as well. It's sort of your dream team, for want of a better word, of that it's like the only thing I think you say in the book, the only thing between you and getting to your goals is yourself and other people. So if you can kind of do the me thing and the we thing and put it together, I just thought that was really unique about your book, and I highly recommend it. It's a great book. It's a great book.
Yeah, and I think it is interesting because a lot of people, when they set their goals, they set their goals. I think that's the thing. And sometimes the goals, Gillian, are your own. Like, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to go running, or I'm going to do whatever it is you're going to do. But when it comes to getting a promotion at work, or it comes to a relationship, or anything that involves somebody else, you've got to know how to deal with that. And that's where I thought, there's a lot of books out there on the me thing and how you set your individual goals, but what happens if that's getting a promotion, or that's, starting a relationship? And that's not just about you, other people are involved. So that's why I thought it was really important to split it into two sections: the me thing and the we thing. Not the Scottish we thing, of course, Gillian. The we thing as in more than one
We little
person.
goals. we want big goals. We don't want wee little goals. So that's absolutely great. I love it. I love it. So, okay, so in your book, you talk about that it's important to know what you want and why you want it. So, can you just kind of like, unpack that a little bit? What did you mean by those two things?
So if you speak to someone, and I was speaking at an event before I wrote the book. I was speaking at an event. It was a ladies in leadership event. It was a really great event. It was amazing. It was at a golf course in England, and we were there for the Women's Golf Open. And I was trying to get people into that mindset of setting goals, because when I was doing the research for the book, according to Inc. magazine, only 8% of people hit goals. And I tried to work out why that was. And I think a high percentage of people don't set goals. They go through, oh, I would like a new job, or I would like this. And it's just wishy-washy stuff that they talk about. It's not really goals. And
Yep.
one of the ladies said, I'd like to fly a plane. And I went, oh, that's really good. And then I said, but why do you want to fly a plane? She goes, oh, I just think it would be quite nice. And there's another fundamental flaw. Like, it's expensive for flying lessons, and you have to turn up. And so people lose momentum. So they don't really know why they want the goal. And I think it's, again, it's interesting when it comes to things like weight loss or starting a business or writing a book. And a lot of people start, don't they? And then they give up and they go, oh, it was really too hard. And it's that focus on why. So like weight loss is a great example, that if you're doing that because you want to be healthier and live a longer life, or see your grandkids or see your kids, or that's what, on the day when you can't be bothered putting on your trainers because it's raining and it's cold, you're not focusing on the run, you're focusing on why you do the run. And I think that's where, lots of people don't do that. And that's why they give up on their goals.
Yep. Yep. And the why is so important, because I know just with myself, I remember when I first got pregnant with my first child, I used to be a smoker. I would try to quit for years. I could never quit smoking. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I took that cigarette, I put it out, and I've never had another cigarette in my life since that moment. And I had kids a long time ago. And again, the why was so much bigger that when I had a real reason to stop smoking, I stopped. So I think if the why is big enough, you can do anything. You really can.
Yeah, I think I think we say in the book, when the why is strong, you can't go wrong. So focusing on that. I think it's in different ways, because you look at, Simon Sinek's made a career out of talking about the why, hasn't he? But I think for
Mhm.
me, I that came later. I had to do a lot of research when I was writing the book around, I've always been a fairly big action taker, but I've never read a book on personal development, and I'd never read a book on business. And yet I've got an MBE from the Queen for
Mm.
entrepreneurship and business. So I had to really unpack, what do I do that other people don't do? What am I doing differently? And again, I can only talk through my eyes and my life and what I do, and why I've, not what I've achieved, because, you talked earlier about success. And I think success is different from person to person, because for me, success isn't just all about financial things. It's about spending good quality time with my kids,
Oh,
or,
yes.
being able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And I think that's where that version of success is different. And that's where everybody's goals are different. And I think that's where, really working on what you want as an individual is so, so, so important. And
Absolutely.
not what other people want for you. Because again, at the moment, it's quite interesting, Gillian, because my boys are just about to graduate. The oldest one, he's 21, and he's about to graduate and looking for his first full-time job. And in my head, I'm going, oh, I hope he gets a job with this company or that company, or does this and does that. And I'm thinking, oh, I've got to stop doing that, because that's what I want for him. He's got to come to the conclusion of what he wants for himself, and not be influenced by other people, because it's his goals. And if you're living your goals and your dreams for other people, you're more likely not to get them and be unhappy in that
So true.
like hunt for something that you didn't really want. Somebody else wanted that for you. So I think that was another angle that came through when I was writing the book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I have to backtrack a second. So you just quickly threw something in that I'm sure everybody was like, "What? MBE from the Queen." Okay, that's like we're in America over here. We're like, "What is that? And how do you get what is it, and how do you get to meet, get recognized by the Queen?"
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you
it's
have to
bizarre
backtrack
because
and tell us that.
yeah, because in the States, when I say MBE, people think I've spelt it wrong, that it's MBA, and it's not an MBE, an MBA, it's an MBE. And it means it's like a member of like the British Empire. And what happens
Oh,
is the Queen and the Prime Minister, twice a year, so once at the Queen's birthday and the other one at the New Year, they choose 1,000 people to be awarded an honour. So literally, it comes. I've got. It sounds bizarre, but I've got a plaque in my toilet that was signed by the Queen and Prince Philip. So, and mine, you can,
your throne room.
yeah, in my throne room. And you can get it for different things. So like sport, again, we've got quite a lot of high profile people in the UK that get it for their celebrity, and like giving things to charity or winning
Nice.
an Olympic medal and stuff. And then mine is for entrepreneurship and business. So I'm, really chuffed. And I went to Windsor Castle and
Chuffed.
I met Prince William, and he gave me you get a little badge, a little honor badge. And so, yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. Wow, that's exciting. So Prince William, is he a nice guy?
Oh,
Like,
so
give
nice.
us the
So nice.
terms. Is
And
he
he's
a nice
got a
guy?
charity around business. So I'm hoping to do some work with him and his charity. Had a call and then we're looking for another call moving forward. But yeah, it was so nice.
That is so exciting. And so now which I put your initials on. So now MBE, it's kind of like having it's so is it an actual title?
Yeah, I changed
Or
my passport, Gillian. That was one of the first things I did when I got it. I thought, I'm sending my passport off in case I get an upgrade on a flight. If I'm doing a long haul flight, I
yeah,
might get an upgrade. Woo! So yeah, it's not a knighthood, so that you get like Sir such and such a
right,
person,
right.
but it's in that ranking. If there's like different rankings of royal honors, then it's in the
That's
same
exciting.
ranking, but it's not as high as a knighthood.
Wow, wow, that's congratulations. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
exciting and quite an honor to have something like that and to just kinda know you're in good company, that you're being recognized by other people that are, like, making a difference. Obviously, it's all
Yeah.
these people making a difference, which
And
is
that's what it's
wonderful.
for. And just the fact, and again, coming back to the why, why you do what you do. Why is it important for me to be recognized? Because it grows my profile. And the higher my profile grows, it's not about being famous or celebrity or anything like that. If people don't know who I am, I can't help them. So if they don't
Mhm.
know who I am, they will never buy the book. And if they don't buy the book, that's a good way for them to be helped to hit their goals. So that's why I've got
Yep.
to keep on the days when somebody's, I think, do you know what? I don't know if I've got the energy to do these things. I don't know if I can do this. I've just got to draw a line and go, look, these people need me. And that's what gives me that drive and energy. And the other thing is, Gillian, I didn't start the business till I was 46. So, like,
Ah.
up until when I was 46, the only people in my phone book were the mums from school. So, and
Oh
a lot of people say,
gosh.
oh, yeah, you must have had a leg up or a hand up, or, you must have known someone. I knew no one, Gillian. I've created all of this from scratch. And that's why I know that other people can do it, because I'm not special. I just have goals. I make them smart, and I take action, and I bring my A game. And this is the thing that, some days your A game is getting out of your pajamas, and other days it's climbing a mountain or running a half marathon. So it's just, just making that effort every day, move a little bit forward further towards your goals, because it's easy. So many people give up on their, they give up, don't they?
Yes, they do. They do. They do. So I want to come back in a second because I want to talk about your balls. It sounds so funny, but it's just two women talking about balls. We're going to get like totally shut down by LinkedIn today, but it's not what you're thinking, people. It's good stuff. And so I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about Trello, because I think those are two things that are just really, really important for this whole thing of goal setting. But let's just take a quick little break and check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing today. So we have the lovely Jeff Young. He's always cheering me on. I love Jeff. He's awesome. Nice to see Gillian and Alison. Looking forward to discussing the important topic of goals. Namaste. Thank you, Jeff. We
Namaste.
it's awesome. It's awesome. We have Jim. I love your intros, Gillian. Good to be here. Woohoo! So Jim is from the UK. So we have everybody. G is joining us today from Texas. So we have everybody all over the world today. And that's what's so fun, Alison, is that we have this global community, everybody just coming in everywhere. So G, thanks for joining us. We've got Jeff again and BHAG as opposed to the we goals. Okay. And then when I understand that my goals had to align with my values, I was fine. That's important, isn't it? It's like, like you said, you don't want to be setting goals for other people, what you think, it's kind of like what you talked about with your son. And I went through the same thing where it's like, as a mom, as a mom, you have these dreams for your children. They're going to grow up and, be the president of the United States one day, or, whatever. And then they decide, you know what? I think I'm going to be a chef. You're just like, well, that wasn't my plan, but it's their plan. And, you just have to say, they can't be doing your dreams. It has to be about your values, and everybody has to align with their own values. And that's good. Wow, Gillian, that is a big why. Oh, a bit, yeah, with the cigarette smoking. Yeah, people say you never look like a smoker. I have a friend from England, and we belong to the OBV, not OBE, the Order of the Black Vest. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. He might be talking
I've not
about
heard of
Vegas
that either.
crazy.
I don't know what that is either, but
No,
it sounds good.
no. Yeah, yeah. And then we have the New Yorkers coming in, and Danielle is coming to us from New York today, who's actually Canadian. So again, we have this really great global mixture of everybody here. So, Alison, let's talk about the big balls. And the small
Yeah.
balls and all the balls in between, because to me that was like so visual. And I think that's why I like Trello as well. So when I heard you were a Trello fan, I was like, yay, because most people learn to click up, and it was like my brain couldn't do click up. But I love Trello because it's visual, and I loved the whole big balls thing. So can you explain that? Because I think that's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So what happened was, I think through years of working with clients or even working in jobs and even in life, people go, oh, I don't have time. That's the biggest excuse. I don't have time to do that. Or I just don't have time. And it's, there's a lot of, in the UK, there was a podcast that went out with a young influencer, and she said, look, everybody's got 24 hours in the day. You've got the same amount of hours as Beyonce has, and she got a lot of slack, really a lot of slack and a lot of stick for this. But there is 24 hours in a day. That is a fact. But, so many people use time as an excuse not to hit their goals. Oh, I wanted to do that, but I didn't have time. And I think when it comes to goal setting, timing is everything. So like for me, the reason I started the business at 46 was because I was bringing up my kids, and, I had disabled parents. So if I'd have tried to have done then what I'm doing now, it probably would have failed. So I do believe that timing is just so important. But it was people using that as an excuse. And I thought, well, how can I help these people? So again, I did some research. I've got two best friends, YouTube and Google. I love them. And I thought, I don't know about this. And I came up and I found the Eisenhower quadrant, right? So a lot of people might have known the Eisenhower quadrant, but for me, that was a fairly new. And then I'm like, oof, urgent, important, urgent, not important, not important, not urgent. And I'm like,
So
that's
hard.
a mess. That is a mess. How on earth can you work that out? And obviously, most people have seen, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits and the rocks in the jar and all that kind of stuff. And I think, that's a really great analogy, but it doesn't work for communication. How do you communicate to somebody else? So what I did was I thought, well, how can I get my head around that? What's my visual? Because I'm dyslexic. So the visuals for me is important. And I'm thinking, well, urgent, important, that's a basketball. And, you can only juggle a couple of basketballs at a time without getting overwhelmed. And then if you get a basketball in the face, wow, man, that is sore as sore can be. So I thought, well, that's a really good analogy on that urgent, important, the basketballs, because you can't have too much or you'll be overwhelmed and you've got to get it done or you will just drop the ball. And when it comes to sales and customer service and the tasks and projects, I felt that was great. So I thought, right, I've got my tennis balls now. What about the other things? So obviously you've got 4 in the quadrant and one of them is the dump part. And I thought, well, I'm not going to concentrate on that. What I'll do is I'll say, what's the next one down is a tennis ball. So I can juggle a few more of those. That's okay. And if I get that in the face, it's not going to be that sore. And then the third one is the ping pong balls. So again, if I get the ping pong ball, I can juggle loads of them and they don't hurt you if they hit you in the face. So I think when it came to linear, people do linear to-do lists and that drives me bananas, Gillian. That's why they don't have time. A linear to-do list is like, it's just like the devil of time stealing. It's a thief. So we dumped the linear to-do list. And then on Trello, we set up basketballs, tennis balls, and ping pong balls. So for example, we have actually, it's still on NDE, but I've just been picked as an influencer for a huge company. And we're going to be doing some stuff around hybrid working because like my team now we all work sort of hybrid. So when we communicate, So say, for example, a LinkedIn post, a LinkedIn newsletter. Let's say that's a great one because I
Right.
love the LinkedIn newsletter.
They're
So we're
great.
doing weekly. We went for weekly, and the team, the team really do it, and I'll check it and then I'll read it through. So we usually do it on a Wednesday. So tomorrow is LinkedIn newsletter. So on a Thursday, it's a ping pong ball. On a Monday, it's a tennis ball. And then on Tuesday, it's a basketball. So we all know where we've got to do. But if we were leaving the writing of the newsletter to the Tuesday, it would be, oh my goodness, we have to get that done. And we're not giving it the time that it deserves. So I think from a to-do list perspective, basketballs, tennis ball, ping pong ball, that works a dream. But where I think it really comes into its own is dealing with other people. So the we thing. So I'll give you an example. Today we were in a meeting and our basketballs were aligned, right? So we're in the meeting and the person I was in the meeting with, she got called out to do an interview, but left us in the meeting. So we then became her ping pong ball and she then didn't come back. So literally she was treating us like a ping pong ball and the balls were out of kilter, and that's where the relationship breaks down, and that's not just a business relationship. Every relationship, you have to be on that same level, and it's when the basketballs and the tennis balls and the ping pong balls in the relationship don't align. And we were talking earlier before we came on air about I do DISC and the behaviors, and after reading the book, you analyzed, you know what, these are clients that just didn't work. And it wasn't just behaviors, it would have been values, but also they were maybe turning up late for appointments, or they weren't sending you the information that you needed. And again, the balls didn't align, and that's when the communication and the relationship breaks down. And it's so simple and so easy.
Yep.
I cannot work out why nobody did it before, but I've trademarked it and it's mine now.
It's fabulous. So Alison and her balls.
Alison Edgar's big balls. So literally, when I trademarked it, the solicitor went, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get big balls through." And I'm like, "Well, there we go." So he says it might like highlights and things in a meeting. So yeah, so that's it. So it's good and it works.
I love it. And I love that it's visual because, like you said, some folks just don't do well. Like I remember the Stephen Covey thing because I love Stephen Covey, but the quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, and it was just like, that has no meaning for me. And I would mix up
Nothing.
which one is quadrant 3. I don't
Yeah.
know, so that was just really hard. So I like that visual. That was so much better. That was so much
Yeah.
better.
Everybody knows what a basketball, tennis ball, and a ping pong ball is. So it's easy, isn't it?
Yep. And I love the idea of taking it the extra step and working with your clients and saying, we're in agreement now that this is a basketball. Don't let me think it's a basketball when you're treating it like a ping pong ball.
Yeah, all the time. And it's really good because even for difficult conversations, and I work in, some great organizations, and they talk the language of basketball, tennis ball, ping pong ball. So if they feel that they're getting blocked on a project because somebody's treating their basketball as a ping pong ball, they can open the conversation and say, look, what's your time frame on this? Like, where does this fit in your basketballs, tennis ball, ping pong ball? And if the other guy says, look, it's ping pong ball, and they're like, well, actually, it's a knock-on effect to the delivery of the project. How can we help to move that up to be a basketball? What can I do to help you move that so that the basketballs are aligned? And again, it's such a simple, gentle way of having a difficult conversation.
I love it. I love it. And the emphasis is on the visual. So it just makes it so much easier. We can look at this together and make that agreement.
So much.
That's
And again,
quite brilliant.
even on Trello, I can put in my team, if I've got something, so like we had a quote to do today. So like I'll put that in the Trello board as a basketball, and then we know that we can move that into the final little column we've got is yay, it's done. So when you've got a linear to-do list and you score something off and you think, wow, I feel like I've won the lottery, when you move it into the yay, it's done. And also from a communication perspective, if that's part of a team, you don't have to say to somebody, have you sent that proposal? Because I can look at your Trello board and see it's in yay, it's done. And that there's that trust level that I know that you've done it and I'm not having to follow up. So I save time. It's all about how ways like to hack time. And that's what helps you hit your goals, buying that time back in your life.
Yes. And I think that was one of the things I really enjoyed about the book is that you told us, you've got to put in the time, but putting in the time saves the time. Like even
Yeah, definitely.
planning your day the night before, knowing what you're going to do. Those are
Yeah.
things where people say, I don't have time for that, but you save time by not, like I know people that walk around with their entire to-do list linear in their head. And you're
No.
just like, why on earth would you trust that? And they say, nothing will get done anyway. So I don't even wanna
But
record
then
it,
that
and you're
comes
like,
back to mindset, doesn't it? I mean, that's a fixed mindset. But I think as well, the other thing with that is, I mean, we've got an empty inbox policy. So we practice what we teach, that every single day that we get the balloon, like we feel that Microsoft sends us a gift every day of some special balloons, because as soon as you clear your inbox, it goes, yay, you've done your inbox for the day. So, and again, from I talk about the banks of balance, but where you deposit your time, you're not having to worry about work, because it doesn't mean you've done your tasks every day, but you've cleared your inbox, you've put it in your Trello board, and it's there. And mentally, when you turn your computer off at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about it, because you've got everything in order. So I think from a well-being, mental health perspective, it just works so well.
that's good, that's good, and I love how you talked about, just now, turning off your computer at the end of the day, and I
Mm,
think that that's probably the biggest mistake, especially entrepreneurs make, of they never go off the clock. They work
yeah.
24/7, and, they're exhausted, and you're like, "Well, of course you're exhausted." There has to be a
Yeah.
time where you just say, "Okay, I'm done, and I will start fresh tomorrow."
Yeah, I think that when you're at the startups phase, that's what you kind of have to put in the hours, don't you? You have to put in the graph to get everything sorted. But I think, for us specifically, I mean, I give myself permission if I want to
Mm.
check my email in the evening, then I can, because it's my business, but not my team. They're not allowed to have their work emails on their phone.
Wow.
It's just a no-no, because that's not good for them. And they're quite young, Gillian, as well, and that's, they've got to have time to hit their own goals and live their own life that doesn't involve working all those hours. And that's why I've been really organized during work time. I trust them 100%. And again, we're really productive. We give great service because we're on
That's nice.
everything. We're really good at it.
That's nice. That's nice. That's awesome. Okay, a few more comments. Okay, so we did the why. Okay, here we go. It's a wee joke. Okay. I don't like to use time as an excuse. We have 86,400 seconds a day. Prioritize them right. Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
But so many people
We
don't do it, Gillian. That's the thing, isn't it? And then they complain they don't hit their goals. And that's, if they were
well,
a wee
and
bit
I
more
I
organized.
I think a lot of times we're doing things that there's no ball for. It's like absolutely a waste of time because it's easy. That's easy. It's the hard stuff that, sometimes we have to do those hard things to really make a difference, really make a difference. That's a great point, Danielle. Time is only good or as bad as how we utilize it. I plan in my head, but I do have a whiteboard, haven't looked at it in a week. And planning in your head's good. I do that all the time, but I find that I can't carry my to-do list in my head. I just can't. I don't think anybody can. I think it's way too stressful, way too stressful. So, Allison, we're almost hitting the 30-minute mark. So, what's sort of the biggest, takeaway you'd want to share with everybody of if we really want to, make sure that it's not too late to smash our goals. So first of all, go over to Amazon and get your book. Your book is great. But what would be your takeaway for everybody today?
So I think, first of all, set goals. Because I do believe that's why the statistic from Inc. magazine is so low, because I think a lot of people don't set them. I think a lot of people don't focus on why they're doing it and they give up. But I also think it's okay to set big goals. Don't be scared. And
Mm,
like for me, and I'll give you an example, from if people don't know who I am, I can't help them. So I've got to reach like mass media. So there's a show called The Apprentice, which you have also in the US. And they do this after show of when the person that gets exited, they do this interview and they've got a panel of specialists. And I really want to be on that panel. And I put it on my goal board, Gillian, and I put the date. The date was March 22, but I was not specific that I wanted to be on the panel. And I got there, I did a bit of the audience, but, you know, actually to get an MBE, to get on TV, to get in a national press, those are really big things. It's, you know, you've got to put the foundation in. And I think that's where you're working back and putting the little steps. If I hadn't have got national press, if I hadn't have like become the Entrepreneur's Godmother, if I hadn't have been voted one of the UK's top 10 business advisors, if I hadn't have written the books, like every goal fits into the big goal, the big why, the big purpose, and what you really, you know, what does smashing it, what does success look like? And I think, you know, it doesn't have to be a financial goal. So many people get sucked into the financial, really knowing what success looks like for you. And that's really reverse engineering what the goals are based on what success looks like for you.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here today. This was really fun. And like I said before, people should follow you. They should go subscribe to your newsletter because you're going to have a new edition tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
tomorrow's
get
newsletter.
on
Literally,
it.
it's in the draft. So the team have got it in the drafts. And in the morning when I get up, I just have to set it live because it's already written and I've just got to hit boom, send.
Yeah, it's and I've been enjoying your newsletters because they just really take a small nugget and expand on it. So it's nice. It's not
It's
a
big
lot.
balls tomorrow, Gillian. It's about big balls tomorrow.
Perfect. Perfect. So everybody go subscribe, follow Alison, connect with Alison, subscribe to her newsletter, check out her book on Amazon. I absolutely loved it. You have an app that goes with the book. I haven't even
I've got an
downloaded
app,
that.
and I think that was another thing that I felt that sometimes, again, because people give up, they get a bit lost, and that it's got the videos of me talking them through it. So I invested in the app. It's a free app, no cost. But again, why do I do it? Because I really want people to succeed.
Okay, but you should have the book first. Should you read the book before you do the app?
I would say
Okay.
have the book, and then like it's got the tasks in it. And if you come to the task, it will say go to the app, and then it's on Audible. The book is on Audible as well. So again, that's another reason for having the app.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And we will see everybody next week. And thanks for joining us today, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Gillian.